I'm just wondering, in your own sales journey, have you noticed yourself being at different levels in selling where maybe you're just like, oh, I'm not there for that person. Oh, you know what? I'm just so scared of selling. Like, has that been in your journey as well?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, um, I'm extremely introverted. So even talking to people, like speaking of that journey, it was a thing. But I like what you said. I wholeheartedly agree that anything is an energy exchange, including sales, and that's the undertone. And I was not, definitely not at that level of any hierarchy of needs thinking in life, right? About like energy exchanges, because when you're figuring out just how to function in this world, and again, I think this is where ego, our pesky ego, does get in the way because it does create a lot of this wall that we have between us, and there's a lot of insecurity. I was definitely, there have been times that I lacked confidence and was quite insecure about my abilities and hadn't had enough, let's say, support or wins or things like this. I don't even like the word winning. I'm not a very competitive person, but positive enforcement or experiences that built that confidence. And to your point about repetition and muscle memory, it's like going to the gym and working out and lifting weights too. If you're like going to go there and like deadlift 200 pounds, never doing it, you're like, wow, I can't do it. You do, incremental repetition of the same movement or compound movement, and the body learns. And, recently, so I took a few years off from pretty much doing any sort of heavy or intense physical activity. My body was just telling me it wanted stillness. I did a lot of meditation. I walk like crazy amounts every day, or yoga, but it was like not wanting intensity. And all of a sudden recently it came back. It was like, okay, let's let's get hardcore again. And I was so surprised because it's been like 3 years that my body was way stronger than I ever could have imagined. Not to the level that I was in the past when I was, lifting very heavy things frequently, but more than I would have expected. And so, if the body also, we know, keeps the score, I think the spirit, the energy, everything does. So it is sort of a cyclical progression. And similarly, in this very strange analogy of weight training, it really is just repetition. Even like now, I'm on a stage multiple times a week. I never was nervous the first time I did it, which was an indicator that I think I was meant to be doing it, even though anyone who knows me is like, I don't understand how you do this job. It makes no sense if, like, personally, I'm a very quiet person. But, and every time I still kind of question, I'm like, am I meant to be doing this? Do I like it? Am I good at it? And then I do it and I feel that. But it really is just to the point of like, you can do something in your sleep. So you don't need to, that repetition, you don't need to think about the nuances of kind of the basic bottom parts of the pyramid. So then you really can let that be on autopilot in the interaction. Because I consider, I wouldn't say like telling stories on a stage to be sales, but there's always a goal, right? And my goal in the past used to be tied to other things, like promoting some sort of agenda for the organizer, right? Or whether it was like pro technology, pro human. I took a stance at a certain point, right, that I was going to stand for team human. I'm not anti tech, but that gave me more presence, and also focusing more, not so much on the content, or again, the content of the exchange. And again, it could just be in a sales interaction or something wider, but actually the energy exchange. So now I'm at a point where like it's more about the journey that people, from where we start and where we end, where we're going. So I know we're going to start from a place of uncertainty and fear. And that's more of an emotional, energetic, like frequency, really. Because that's what I'm brought into a room of people who are scared shitless about the future. And we all are. I can also inhabit that space. So I go do that. And then, like, okay, we start here. And then we go on this journey of like, let's walk through that proverbial desert and let's come out on this end where hopefully we all can be elevated and feel optimistic or excited. And in a sales exchange, similarly, it's less of a journey of that interaction, more of the transmuting whatever you're doing, right? There's a problem that someone needs to be solved. And you as the salesperson, not you specifically, but anyone listening to this that has to sell, which all of us do, what is the transformation someone is making in that exchange? That's something they will remember. So all of this being said, I don't have tips for how to ascend the pyramid faster. And I actually don't think that's would be the best advice, because it's not a speed thing. We're all on our own paths of personal development and growth. I do think things happen in order and a pace that we're ready for. And again, we live in like such a fast-paced global world and culture that suggests you need to be better, faster, and compare your journey to someone else's journey, which you can't, because we're all on our own journeys and experiences, and every lesson is going to happen individually. So again, if you're in the sales part where you're still just starting and you're thinking like, where do I put my hand? How do I sit? And you have to think about it. I don't know, right? But body language is a thing. If you actually need it, that's fine. And just keep doing it. And then it becomes sort of natural and integrated, and then the next thing reveals itself.
Thank you so much for listening to the Selling with Love podcast. We have some previous episodes you can tune into right here. And if you prefer the short form content where you get to the point in under 10 minutes, we do have a ton of clips from our best episodes that are being shared on this channel as well. So pick which one supports you the most. And of course, thank you for liking, subscribing, and of course, selling with love.